Let's revisit the 5 marriages of Clark Gable. Clark Gable was married for the first time in 1924 to Josephine Dillon. She was an acting teacher who saw his potential when he started working at the Little Theater in Portland, Oregon. She saw so much potential in him that not only did she teach him pretty much everything he knew about being an actor, but she also helped him get his teeth fixed and his hair styled. In 1930, just before he got his contract with the MGM Studios, he asked her for a divorce. But don't be too sad for Clark, because just 2 days after his divorce was finalized, he married Maria Franklin. The story here is that she saw Clark while he was performing in Texas and developed a little bit of a crush on him. Eventually, she moved to New York with her family, and they reconnected when Clark was in a play there. And when Clark got his contract in Hollywood, she followed him there, and they were married in 1931. Clark was not the greatest of husbands. He was having affairs left and right, including with Joan Crawford, which I already did a video on. Eventually, Clark Gable would start seeing the love of his life, Carole Lombard, and Maria and him would get a divorce in 1939. I just want to say before I continue that Clark Gable and Carole Lombard would have probably gotten married a lot sooner, but his second wife, Maria, felt like she supported him at the beginning of his career, and so she wanted some of the money he was making now that he was a star. MGM helped Clark out by giving him an advance, and so he was able to pay her $300,000, which is about $5 million in today's money. Which brings us to Clark's third marriage to the love of his life, Carole Lombard. They met on the set of their 1932 film No Man of Her Own, but hit it off at a party 4 years later. That is where their romance was said to begin, and in 1939 they were officially married. Unfortunately, in 1942 their romance was cut short when Carole Lombard became the first Hollywood casualty to die in World War II. A video is coming on this. Eventually, Clark married for the fourth time in 1949 to actress and socialite Sylvia Ashley. They met at a party hosted by his agent, but unfortunately by 1952, he was divorcing her, claiming extreme cruelty from Sylvia. Which brings us to Clark's final marriage to Kay Williams. They were said to have met after his wife Carole Lombard passed away, and eventually in 1954, he asked her to dinner. They were married in 1955 and had one child together, but unfortunately, Kay had to give birth to this child after Clark Gable unexpectedly passed away from a heart attack in 1960. I have a lot of respect for Kay Williams because she knew that Carole Lombard was the love of Clark Gable's life, so when he passed away, she let him be laid to rest next to her at Forest Lawn, Glendale.